So I'm going to tell you some shit that you need to hear. So before we start, the most important thing, obviously, regarding anything you do in your life is your mindset. And that's the first lesson about this. It's the G mindset. You know, a lot of people message me saying, why did you call it G course? You could have called it something more serious. No, I like that name. I like G. That's what it is. It's a G mindset. We're going to learn something about ourselves. We're going to learn something about how you view the world. Because in reality, how you view the world absolutely and utterly shapes how you react to the world, how you act in the world, how people view you. It's all down to how you view things. There's very few things in this life we actually have any control over. I learned all of the lessons I'm going to be teaching you the hard way. I didn't learn them in a course, so you guys are very, very lucky. I learned all this shit the absolute hard way. I came from absolutely nothing. There's a lot of rumors circulating online that, you know, my father was a world level chess player and that I got a lot of money from him and I came from a rich family, etc., etc. Absolutely not the case. My dad was a G, a straight G. He was in the military. He was based in England in the Air Force. My dad was actually recruited into the CIA. He was a spy. Now he's dead. I'm happy to say that. So my father worked in the intelligence services. He was based in England. He met my mum, pretty little white thing. He's a big black dude. So back then that was a taboo. He grabbed her, took her back to America with him. 3 beautiful offspring, me being the oldest. And then he continued with his life of being a G, which is pimping hoes and playing chess at world level and traveling the earth. He never had any large financial sums. He certainly didn't leave me a penny. He didn't have anything to leave. So all he left me with was with a mindset, and that mindset was enough that allowed me to build the life I wanted to build. My father never wanted to be fiscally rich. He never gave a shit about being rich. He cared about other things. If he wanted to be rich, he would have been extremely rich. And I personally decided I wanted to be rich, and all of the lessons that I'm going to be putting in this course, a lot are from him and a lot are from experiences of growing up poor, growing up in a single mother household, growing up in social housing, the projects in England. When my mother and father split, I was 9 years old, I went to England. Becoming a world level athlete and now becoming a self-made multimillionaire. So all of these lessons I've learned absolutely the hard way. And if you disagree with anything in this video, that is your prerogative, but I can absolutely assure you, I know what I'm fucking talking about. I know what I'm talking about. I've lived an extreme life. There's a lot of people online who give out advice, that's fine. But I've lived an extreme life, more extreme than most. I have been in a single mother, my mum crying because she can't pay the bills, broke as a joke. I've been a multimillionaire. I've been a nobody. I've been famous. I've been a world level athlete. I've started from nothing with a point where I had to run to the gym because I didn't even have a car to get there. I've done it all. So I've lived a very extreme life, and this is where these lessons come from. So when I talk about G mindset is absolutely and utterly the most important thing. This is actually quite funny. A girl I was dating once, she said to me, you know, you remind me of RuPaul. And RuPaul is a famous fucking drag queen, so it's not very good. I said, why? She goes, because he has a saying, he said, I always knew I was famous. I had to wait for the rest of the world to catch up. She goes, you have the same mindset. She said this to me before I had nothing, because I told everyone I'm going to be world champion. Years before I even had a British title, before I even had an English title, I just started fighting. I was like, oh, I'm the next world champion, yeah. I just started saying it, but I said it with genuine conviction. I knew I would be the best. I genuinely knew I would be the best. You have to understand that this world, everyone constantly tells you, do not be arrogant. Do not have an ego. When I had my Twitter, I put my ego into overdrive because I found it entertaining. But people will constantly tell you to not talk in a way which is full of conviction. People do not like you to be arrogant and have an ego. This is the worst thing ever. Let me tell you a fact, the number one facet of the G mindset. Your life is never going to be worse if you walk through the world believing you are the fucking man. You wake up and look in the mirror and go, I'm the fucking man. I am the man. There's no one on this planet who can do shit I couldn't do if I put my mind to it. I don't give a fuck how good you are at piano. If I decide to play piano, I would be better than you at piano. And I believe that. I don't just say these things, I fucking believe them. And when you go through life believing you really, really are the man, there are very few downsides. The downsides are everyone's gonna call you arrogant, everyone's gonna call you a dickhead, everyone's gonna say he has a big ego. You're gonna lose a few loser friends. Who cares? What you are gonna gain is other people on the same path. You're gonna gain other people who think, yeah, well, I'm the fucking man too. This guy's the man, let's make some money. That's what's gonna happen. So the first thing you can do with your G mindset is you need to start believing you are the fucking man. Even if you're not the man yet, even before I was world champion, I knew I was gonna be the man. So I don't give a fuck. And I was happy to say that to anybody. When people called me arrogant and stupid and deluded, I just sit there and look at them and say, yeah, fuck you. I'm going to be the man. And this is how now, when my life's kind of come full circle, this is quite interesting. I'll tell you a very quick story. When I was 19, I think I had a sales job, and I had to drive down to a sales meeting to try and sell some advertising. I had a really old shitty car. No, I must have been older than 19. I was about 21. I had this old shit car and I'm driving. And as I'm driving my car, and I couldn't afford to have it fixed, I had a bump in the front. The front was all fucking caved in. So I had to park it away from the sales meeting and then walk to the sales meeting. So I'm driving this car. Anyway, pull up next to me at the lights. Red light, pull up next to me. In a fucking Tuesday morning, 10 o'clock, music blasting. Drop top Aston Martin with a Swedish number plate. Some fucking dude about 30 with a hot blonde next to him. And I remember looking at him thinking, who the fuck's this guy? Like, here I am with my broken car on my way to fucking do a shit job. I can't afford to fix my car. This guy is from fucking Sweden, and he's just driven to England, and he's got a Swedish plate, and he's got this hot bitch, and he's got music pumping, and he's on his way to have lunch. Like, where the fuck did my life go wrong? I want to be like that guy. And I think this every single time I live in Romania now. Now I drive around Romania in my fucking Lamborghini or my Aston Martin or my Ferrari or my Bentley, whichever one I decide to drive. And they all have English number plates, and I always have a girl with me, and people look at me, and people are giving me the exact same look I gave that guy. People look at me like, who the fuck's this guy from England who just drove here from England? I'm standing at the bus stop about to go to work, and this guy's got a $250,000 car and a hot bitch on his way to have lunch with music blaring. And the reason I managed to go full circle is those small events in my life, seeing someone else with more success than me, ingrained in my brain. And to a lot of people, it doesn't ingrain in their brain. I was walking to school. If I was walking to college with my friends, I used to have to walk. I went to a college on the other side of town, so I had to walk 4.6, I think it was, fucking miles to college. It was a fucking nightmare. So I used to walk. Halfway, I meet some other people. Then towards the end, there'd be a group of 5 or 6 of us along the way. And when I met, and one day a Ferrari burnt past us, and everyone else was like, oh yeah, Ferrari. I'm like, and I remember saying to the group, I was only 18, I said, doesn't it annoy you that this guy has a fucking 300,000 pound car and we'll probably never have one? And they're like, oh yeah, it's only a car. I'm like, no, you don't understand. There is a life hack. There's something happening where people are living lives that other people don't get to live. There's something happening, there's something going on. I want to have a 300,000 pound car. I want it. And no one else wanted it. These little events didn't ingrain in their brain. Ferrari driving past me bothered me. And it bothered me to my core, to the point where I decided I would do anything it takes to have one. Whereas other people just saw it and carried on with their normal lives. This is the reason I have 6 or 7 supercars and other people don't. Because these small events ingrained in my brain. So this is the second thing. G mindset. First thing, you have to believe you're the fucking man, you can achieve anything. And when I say that, I'm gonna say that again. You have to believe you're the fucking man, and you have to believe you can achieve anything. I'm not saying you can achieve anything easily. I'm not saying it's not gonna take a whole bunch of work. I'm not saying it's gonna happen quickly, but you have to believe you can achieve anything. I'll tell you something now, I don't give a fuck if it's being an astronaut. I don't care about climbing Mount Everest. You give me enough time to train, I will get it done. I know that for a fact because I know who I am as a man. That's the first thing. The second thing is, you need to be perspicacious. You need to understand that in this world, there's a whole bunch of people doing amazing shit that you are not doing. And that needs to piss you off. Because if it pisses you off, you become motivated all of a sudden. I was the only one who was pissed off when that Aston Martin was next to me and I had my sales job. I was the only one who was pissed off when I saw that Ferrari drive past. Other people were not annoyed by it. And they're not annoyed by it, they're not driven to beat it. You understand? They're not driven to be where that person was. You need to be annoyed, and I'm telling you to be angry. Anger is a fantastic force. Like I said, the world tells you not to be arrogant, it tells you not to be angry. It's 2 things it tells you to do. Don't be arrogant, don't have an ego, and you don't have anger. You're a fucking man, you're a full-grown man. It's perfectly fine for you to be pissed off. It's perfectly fine for you to look around at your life, look at the girl you're fucking, look at the house you live in, look at the car you drive, and get pissed off and go, you know what, I want a hotter bitch. I want a fucking nicer house, I want a faster car. There's nothing wrong if you take that anger and you direct it in the correct direction. This is the reason I stopped fighting now. People go, why do you stop fighting? That's because I fought and I went through hell to get everything I now have. I had nothing when I fought. I had nothing. And I wanted the life I now have. Now I wake up in one of my 3 mansions with one of my 7 supercars and one of my 15 women. What do I need to fight for? People have different motivations for different things. There's some fighters out there who fight for other reasons, you know? But my motivation was I was pissed off at the world. And now I'm not as angry as I used to be, so I don't believe I'm as good a fighter as I used to be. I'll still whoop some ass. Well, I'm not as good as I used to be. So that's why I decided to retire early. But this is the second thing. So the first thing, believe you're the man. Second thing, you need to get angry about your situation. If you've bought this course and you're watching it and you're sitting there, right now you're watching it and you look around you and you don't own the home you're in, get pissed off. If there ain't a Ferrari on your drive, get pissed off. If you don't have 10 Playboy Bunny level beauties, get pissed off. And what the fuck, you need to sit there and realize, whoa. I have a few years of consciousness, and even less than that, I have a few short years as a young man, because age will damage you. I mean, if you're a millionaire when you're 60, it's not nearly as good as being a millionaire at my age. I became a millionaire at 28. So you need to realize you've got a few short years as a young man, you're fucking wasting them. You need to sit there and go, fuck, shit, get angry. Because getting angry, forced, directed anger is an extremely powerful force. So these are the first two things you need to do for a G mindset. This is the third thing, and this is a very, very important thing, because I try and explain this to people and they don't seem to understand it. So I'm going to make this very, very blunt. Nobody, absolutely nobody, gives a fuck about you as much as you're going to have to give a fuck about yourself. Nobody cares about you as much as they need to care to fix your life. Even your parents, even your friends, even all the people who think they care about you, they care about you. Yeah, sure, there may be 2 or 3 people on the planet who genuinely care about you. But nobody is going to come to your bed, drag you out of bed, fucking drag you to a job, force you to work hard, go and get you a hot bitch and go and buy you a Ferrari. Nobody is going to do that for you. You are never going to have any of the things you want if you do not get them yourself. Nobody cares about you enough to do it for you. This is absolutely true. There's no one else who wakes up each day and goes, you know what? I want to make Andrew Tate's life better. I want to get him more pussy and more money. No one thinks that about me. No one thinks that about you either. Nobody thinks that about you. The only person who gives a shit about your life truly is you. And if you don't give a shit, then you're fucked. But point 2, get angry. You're going to start giving a shit very soon. And after you get angry, you need to realize that nobody is going to give you the things you want. It doesn't matter if Donald Trump is president or not. I'm a huge Trump fan, but it doesn't make a difference. No politician is going to make you rich. No one else is going to come along and say, I'm going to concentrate my effort on fixing your life. Nobody. You have to understand you are out here alone, absolutely alone. And when you understand these 3 things, you start to see how a mindset comes together. Nobody's going to save you. You're fucked. It's totally down to you. You're pissed off with your current situation and you want to change it. Plus, you believe you can do absolutely anything. This is how I thought at 18 years old. This is how I achieved so much in the short years. This is how I went from a nobody to a world-level athlete and a multi-millionaire. Also, people confuse the two. Kickboxing is not boxing. I made across my entire career in kickboxing, maybe about 700,000. I now have about 8 or 9 million. This was not made in kickboxing. This was made in other ventures. I have managed to be a world-level athlete and an extremely successful businessman at exactly the same time. Because at a very young age, when I had my prime resource of energy and power at 18, 19 years old, I understood those 3 tenets. I believe I can do anything. I'm pissed off I don't have the life I want. And nobody else is going to give it to me. These are 3 things you need to understand. If any one of these elements is missing, you'll never have the right mindset. The G mindset will never formulate if any one of these elements is missing. All 3 are absolutely essential. And the sooner you get your act together, the sooner you start to panic and worry and be concerned that you're 24, 25, you're not fucking rich yet. There's 24 and 25-year-olds out there who got a contract for a fucking NBA or their parents or they won the lottery, who knows what. There's 24 and 25-year-olds out there who are multimillionaires fucking the hot models. These Instagram girls with 3 million followers, they're getting dicked by someone and it ain't you. And that needs to piss you off. You need to get concerned, you get worried, you get shit, I'm running out of time. You need to get some urgency in your life. Put these 3 things together is absolutely essential. It's the beginning of the G mindset. When you have these 3 things totally done, I'll tell you what happens. I'll tell you what happened for me. So I became a sayer. So my brother used to say, you've become a sayer. And what that means is I made a pact to him that my word was unbreakable, strength and honor, and that if I said something, I meant it. So I'd wake up in the morning and I'd say to my brother, I'm doing 1,000 press-ups today. Once I said it, once I spoke it, it's like a genie, it became true. If I said I was going to do 1,000 press-ups, I'd do them. Because if I didn't do them, I'd feel guilty within myself that I was the kind of person who talks shit. Because G's don't talk shit. So the 3 tenets we've already learned, when you've instilled these in your mind, you don't want to be the kind of person who talks shit. So if I woke up to my brother and said, I'm doing 1,000 press-ups or I'm running 20 miles today, I would do it. Because if I didn't do it, I'd feel like a dickhead. Because when you instill these mindsets, when your mindset changes, you start to be extremely accountable for yourself. No one's coming to save you. You become extremely accountable. So when you realize that your word is one of the few things you have on this planet, if you say things, you're going to start sticking to them. So then it becomes very easy to train. You say, I'm going to train every day this week. I'm going to train for 2 hours a day. As soon as you said it, it's basically done. If I say something, it's basically done. It's set in stone. If I say something, I'm going to do it. There's no way I'm going to say some words and speak them into existence on this planet. And then I'm going to be the kind of pussy who quits because it's too hard. If I say I'm going to do 10,000 push-ups, I'm going to do it. Because I'm the kind of person who sticks to the words he says. And this is another thing you need to understand with the G mindset. You be very, very specific with what you say. Because if you instill your mindset correctly and you start to just say things, just start saying things. Then you hold yourself accountable. Say things you don't even think you want to do. Wake up and go up to your friend or your mom or whoever and say, you know what? I'm going to do 1,000 push-ups today. Say it to people. And they're going to say, no, you're not. So watch me. And then you have a choice. You're either going to succeed like a G or you're going to be a little pussy. And you're going to quit at 310 because it's hard. What kind of man are you? That's a decision you need to make. But if you're the kind of man I was, I'd say shit and I'd fucking stick to it. My brother said, you become a sayer. I used to train with my brother. He'd say, let's do 500. I'd say, let's do 2,000. He'd say, well, you've said it now, so we have to do it. I said, exactly. I said it now, so now we have to do it. There is no surrender. We have to do it. This is another facet of the G mindset. This is number 4. You got to start saying shit, and your word has to be iron, unbreakable. This translates across everything in life. It's not just training. It translates across everything in life, even relationships. I say to my girlfriend, stop fucking with me or you're out the house. Men say that all the time in arguments, and then they continue to argue for 2 hours. They'll say that, and then they'll argue. If I say that, and she continues to talk shit, I start throwing her shit out the fucking door, because I said it. And if I say something, I mean it. If I look a man in his eyes and say, I'm gonna whoop your ass, shut up, and he continues to talk, I have to kick his ass. I'm careful with what I say. If I tell him to shut up and he doesn't shut up, that's a different thing. If I say, shut up or I'm gonna whoop your ass, and he continues to talk, I will fuck him up. Because I'm the kind of person, if I say something, I mean what I say. I'm specific with my language, and I mean every word I speak. This is another tap. This is number 4. You have to start meaning every word you speak. You say to someone, I'm gonna get rich. You better fucking do it. Otherwise, you're a liar. You're a liar, and you're a little bitch. If you say, I'm gonna put some muscle on, you better fucking do it. You say, I'm gonna lift this weight, you better fucking do it. You say, I'm gonna go get this girl, you better go get her. You gotta be the kind of person who says things and means them. You promise a guy you're gonna whoop his ass, you better whoop his ass. Don't be a person. 99% of the people out here talk shit. They say things they half mean, or things they don't mean. If I say something, I fucking mean it. And this is number 4. This is the 4th element. You've heard the first 3. This is number 4. Everything you say, you must mean. And once you implement that correctly, then you get the ability to motivate yourself to no end. You get unlimited motivation because all you have to do is find the energy to say it. You find the energy to say it, then you have to do it. It's literally that easy. I'd wake up in the morning and say, Tristan, we're running 20 miles today. You'd say, oh, for fuck's sake. That's nearly a marathon. I'm like, yep, let's go. Doesn't matter, it takes all fucking day. I said it. And if I say something, it has to happen. This is the 4th tenet, and one of the most important ones, because that is the power to unlimited motivation. And that's the power to be taken seriously across all spheres of your life. Be specific with your language. I was in a restaurant the other day, some guy was arguing with his girlfriend. And they were talking shit. He's like, you better be quiet. You better be quiet. He kept saying you better be, but there was no threat at the end of it. I didn't really like that. Like, if you're gonna make a threat, make a fucking threat. But my point is, he's trying to make a threat, but he has no threat in the end because it's empty and the bitch is ignoring him. All these things translate across your entire sphere. Or if you say to a girl or a guy, you better be quiet or else, and then you don't follow through, they're gonna remember that shit. Even on a subconscious level, they're gonna remember that shit, and your word's gonna be devalued. My word has value. Literally, I can go into, let's say, the Ferrari dealership I get my cars from. I can say, I'll pay you tomorrow. Shake his hand. He'll give me the car. He knows me. I can go and get my car fixed and say, I'll be back on Monday, I got something to sort out. He'll shake my hand. I don't lie. If I say I'll be back on Monday and I don't have money on Monday, I'll rob a bank to make sure I have money on Monday because I fucking said I'd be there to pay. It's the kind of person you need to be. So these are the first 4 elements of the G mindset. When these sound like simple things, but to implement them correctly, truly and correctly in your mind will change your entire view of the world. You'll start to look at everything completely differently. When you implement these 4 things correctly, when you say, if I say something, I'm going to do it, my word is iron-willed. When you say that nobody is ever coming to save me, ever. When you say that I'm pissed off, I don't have the life I want to have. When you couple that with, I believe I can do anything. If you truly believe all of these 4 things, it's going to change your entire view of this planet. I'll wrap up quickly with probably my most famous tweet when I had Cobra Tate. They verified me and everything, and I spoke too much truth, so I had to go. When my most famous tweet was when I said depression wasn't real. And I had A-list celebrities. I had the girl from Game of Thrones. I had fucking literally A-list guys. Who's that dude from No Country for Old Men? And he was a bad guy in Bond as well. I actually quite liked him as an actor until he came for me. I was having arguments with all these people, and everyone's telling me how dangerous my mindset is. What is dangerous about believing that you control your own mind? Because if you implement the 4 things I've just told you, depression becomes garbage. Depression is not a thing anymore. Feeling depressed is real. You can be depressed with your situation. I just told you, number 2, get depressed. That's fine. But believing you can fix it yourself is the important key. Sitting there believing that depression is some monster from the sky that strikes your brain and now you have no control over it and you must take pills every day is the absolute enemy to a G mindset. I don't give a fuck how depressing my situation. The only person who can change it is me. The only person who can change how I feel about my situation or try and affect the situation directly is me. Even if you put me in a situation I can't change, if you put me in jail and I'm depressed because I'm in jail, I still refuse to succumb to depression. I refuse to collapse mentally and give up. I know the only person who can control my mind is me. Nobody's coming to save me. No doctor with a pill is coming to save me. Depression isn't real. Depression is a state of mind designed to motivate you to find a life that doesn't depress you any further. That's all it is. Now you have to decide, are you man enough to go and get it done, or are you going to sit around and cry? And depression, the reason I talk about depression a lot is because depression in the Western world is the cure-all. It's the cure-all excuse. This is what people are using. My life's shit because I'm depressed. No, you're depressed because your life is shit. It's the other way around, and you're refusing to acknowledge that, and you want to sit there and live a shit life and pretend that some disease has struck you. And the reason you know that's bullshit, anyone out there who's depressed, I'll tell you something, you're not depressed, you're a coward. And the reason you're a coward is as follows. You desperately try to defend this crippling ailment you have. When I tell you depression isn't real, you message me pages and pages, desperate to convince me I'm wrong, that depression is a real thing, and that your life is terrible, and this ailment has destroyed your life, because you're desperate to defend your excuse. If depression was really terrible, you wouldn't want to defend it. If depression was really so bad, and I'm telling you it's not real, and I know how to fix you, and if you implement a mindset like mine, you become immune to depression. If depression was so terrible, you'd listen to me and think, I need to try what this guy does. If he's immune to depression, it's impossible to depress him, I need to be like this man. But instead, no, you don't want to do that. You want to call me names and sit and defend this ailment because you know it's garbage. It's your excuse. It's your blanket. It's your shield. It's your excuse you get to pull out every time you look at your failure of a life. And that's why depression is absolutely and utterly not real. And anyone who's bought this course who thinks they're depressed, I'll tell you something now, drop that coward bullshit. If you're watching this and you're depressed, drop and give me 200 press-ups. Do 200 press-ups. Look in the mirror, look in your eyes, and tell yourself you're the fucking man, and drop that garbage, because you can get absolutely nowhere in your life if you believe in that crap. Depression absolutely isn't real. And you're going to say this to people, and they're going to fucking go nuts at you. They're going to call you arrogant, they're going to call you all the things they called me. But your life is going to be a life worth living. Implement the 4 things I've told you, the 4 important tenets of a G mindset. Understand nobody's coming to save you. Depression isn't real. You'll change your entire worldview once these 4 things are implemented correctly. And then we can move on to everything else. Right, we've been over the mindset. The mindset, the 4 tenets of the mindset are: believe you can do absolutely anything. 2, be pissed off you haven't done it yet. 3, absolutely nobody is coming to save you. And 4, your word has to be iron-willed, and use that for unlimited motivation. This is about body language. In males, and I'm assuming, like I said previously, most of you are men, males for a very long period of time had a very physical role. Our role was combatants. Our role was a combative role. Our role was to protect, or to destroy, or to dominate, or to conquer. This was a male's role. So in the modern society where we pretend physicality isn't important, we deny physicality, and people say it doesn't matter. It absolutely does matter, because since the dawn of human time, my favorite saying that everyone mocks me for, since the dawn of human time, for 95% of our existence, a man's role was primarily a physical role. So physicality is extremely important. And when you're looking at body language, it's quite difficult to have the body language of an alpha. What is an alpha? Let me diverse quickly. What is an alpha? If you look in a lion's pride, who's the alpha? The alpha is the biggest, strongest lion. This is the alpha. The alpha is the badass. So can you mimic the body language of the biggest, longest, strongest lion? Yeah, of course, but if you're not the biggest, strongest lion, you know, it's not as easy to pull off, and someone might call your bluff. So this is actually a very easy video. Body language is down to your physicality as a whole. The body language of a G is a combative body language. I'm not saying you walk through life like this and looking for a fight, not at all. But you have to have a presence about you, whereas you're not an easy target. It's quite funny actually, because when you're a fighter, you can spot other fighters a mile off. Like, and it's not just big muscly guys. Like, you can put me in a room with 30 guys who go to the gym, who are fitness experts, can come in and walk through. And if one of them is a high level combatant, if one of them's a professional fighter like me, I can tell by the way he moves, probably the same way a dancer can sense another dancer. I can sense another fighter. And it's something instinctual. It's something I can't even tell you how I do it. I can just tell by the way someone moves if they can fight or if they can't fight. Doesn't matter, they can have the best body in the world, they can be ripped, but it's the way they move. I know I've seen guys who don't have a body like that and I can sense it. And I've seen guys who are built like that and I can just tell they would crumble. It really is an amazing thing. And I think this is something that you become more tuned into, more honed on when you're a fighter yourself, but it's obviously something that humans naturally possess. We naturally possess the ability to spot another male and think, that guy's a dangerous guy. So I can tell you tips and tricks in an attempt to mimic the body language of a dangerous person, or you can become a dangerous person. This course is not a shortcut course. This is not tips and tricks. This is not bullshit. This is about how to become a G, how to become a genuine asset, a genuine male of substance. And to become a genuine male of substance, you need to know how to fight. It's very difficult to be a G if you're going through life and you crumble at physical confrontation. Because when you get to a certain point in your life, you will encounter physical confrontations. If you're going to go and travel the world and drive fast cars and wear expensive things and attempt to fuck beautiful women all over this planet, sooner or later you're going to attract negative intention from either jealous men or an ex-boyfriend or a brother or a fucking robber who wants your car. Who knows? Are you really a G if you mimic every single aspect of a high quality man, and then when that situation happens, you fold? No, of course you're not. You need to learn how to fight. I don't need to teach you how to fight. I don't need to sit here in this course and say do this, do that. I don't need to teach you any of that, because you can go, it doesn't matter what city you are on earth, there's an MMA class or there's a boxing class that will teach you how to fight. You need to dedicate substantial periods and portions of your time to learning how to fight. You need to get hit, you need to have your ass kicked. You need to learn how to kick someone's ass. And this is absolutely essential to one, the mindset, and two, the physicality. Firstly, mindset-wise, fighting is a brilliant thing. Because fighting is 100% accountable. Even if you play soccer, for example, even if your team wins, maybe you didn't do very much. Or maybe you kicked the ball and the wind helped you. Who knows? But fighting, if you got punched in the face, you didn't move. And if you punched him in the face, you threw your hand. In fighting, we always say there's no such thing as a lucky punch, and it's true. You know, if I dedicate my life to learning how to punch, and then I knock someone out, is it a lucky punch? No, I knocked him out. That's what I've been training to do. No such thing as a lucky punch. So, mindset-wise, it's perfect for your accountability. Secondly, it's a huge challenge. Learning how to fight is extremely difficult. It's more difficult than learning how to dance or learning how to do anything else. And the reason for this is because learning how to fight, all humans have an instinctual way of fighting. We don't have an instinctual way to dance as much, but all humans basically are pre-programmed to fight. But the way we're pre-programmed to fight is completely wrong. We're pre-programmed to lift our head up so we look big and we can see, and to swing with our hands low for maximum power. And these are completely wrong in terms of traditional chin down, hands up fighting. So when you're learning to fight, you're reprogramming your basic instincts, and this is why it's so difficult. This is why it takes more practice than any other sport. I could learn to dance much easier than a dancer could learn to fight at high level. And that's because fighting is extremely chaotic, it's extremely quick, it hurts, and on top of that, you're trying to reprogram a basic instinct. So it's a very difficult thing to do, but if you want to become a G for real, you need to learn how to fight. And once you learn how to fight, your body language, and when I say once you learn how to fight, learning how to fight takes years. Once you start to begin to learn how to fight, it's a lifestyle choice. This is not I do a 6-week course and I know how to fight. No, this is a lifestyle choice where you start to dedicate a certain period of your time every single week to being a combative individual. And it's something that you never really give up on, because you never completely learn how to fight. So it's something you're gonna have to change your lifestyle and base it around. But when you start to do that, your body language is gonna change. And once again, just like in the first lesson, when you start to do that, the way you interact and view the world will start to change. The way you view other people will start to change. This is the great thing about, especially when I had Twitter and the internet. I wasn't big on Twitter until Trump was elected, and that's when I started to tweet, and they verified me straight away, and I got mixed up, and everything went crazy. But you realize that 99% of the people on there with their opinions and who are being rude would never speak to you that way in real life. It never bothered me. It didn't ever upset me. But when I was on Twitter, I'd never been spoken to that way in real life. Nobody ever spoke to me that way. No one ever argued with me that way. And I thought, well, why is that? And I thought, because I have a physical presence that even I wasn't aware of. If I sit with someone who hates Trump in the real world, the way they speak to me is completely different than they do on Twitter, because even subconsciously they're thinking, this guy is a dangerous guy. And even if they know I'd never attack them, because I'm not an idiot, I'm not an animal, I don't have a criminal record, I'm not a thug. But instinctually, inside of their mind, from an evolutionary standpoint, they're thinking, this is not the kind of guy you call names. This is not the kind of guy you talk to in that manner. And that was a really great experiment for me to see the way that people talk to you through a computer and the way that I've never been interacted with that way in real life. And I was like, well, why is that? Because I said this to someone else, they go, oh, people talk to me like that all the time. I said, well, yeah, it's because you're you and I'm me. So a physical presence is a real thing. And it's a real thing, one, with other males. It's certainly a real thing with females. Absolutely a real thing with females. And this is something that either I can teach you to imitate, I can tell you tips and tricks, or you can just go and fucking do it. If you go and do it for real, you don't need tips and tricks. Are you gonna be world champion? No, because I'm in the top 0.1% of physical athletes. But can you be good? Sure, you can be good. And is it gonna damage your life in any way to dedicate specific time learning how to fight? Of course not. You're gonna be in better physical condition, better mental condition. You're gonna have a better body language, because a male's body language is a combative body language. That's what men are meant to do. We are meant to fight. We're meant to conquer. This is why men have been men since the dawn of human time. This is why the Romans got some rocks, melted the rocks, made swords. These motherfuckers, they didn't have Google Maps, they didn't know where they were going. They thought, let's just walk in this direction, and then we're gonna find some people, and we're gonna kill them. We're gonna take all their women, and we're gonna conquer their city, because we want to. This is what men have been built to do since the dawn of human time. Men are combative individuals, so to pretend that combat's not real anymore, and we live in society, and you don't have to do that, all garbage, you know? And this is Western society bullshit anyway. I've been to 71 countries. If you go to the places I've been, you will realize that physical presence is still a very real thing. Absolutely a very real thing in many parts of this planet still today. So, body language of a G is a very, very short and simple lesson. One, go and learn to fight, because a man's body language needs to be a combative body language, and there's no point in me teaching you how to imitate that when you can go and learn it for real. That's the first thing. Go and learn how to fight. And that's it. It's really that simple. If you want a body language which really does display your value as a high value male, then go and become one, and learning how to fight is the easiest way to do that.
All right, so I'm gonna talk about how to use your voice to make the pussy moist. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, the reality is most men nowadays walk around very timidly, they're very soft with their voice, and they don't command the room, right? They don't command someone's attention. So here's an example. Let's say you're going to Starbucks and you're gonna get you a cappuccino, right? Maybe you drink soy lattes, whatever. But when you order, a lot of people are timid, like, oh, I'll have the number 3, right? And then if someone doesn't hear them, they just kind of sit back and let it be, instead of commanding the person who's working attention, right? So if I were to walk up and order a soy latte, I would walk up, like, excuse me, I'll take a number 3, right? You're commanding their attention. You're commanding what you want. So the thing is, you want to command attention, right? If a king walks in a room, do you think he's timid? So you have to think, this whole course, the whole point is you have to start considering yourself a king, right? You're a king of your domain. You're a king of your state. You're a king of your country. You're a king of the world, right? When you walk into a room, you're commanding it. When you talk to someone, you're using your voice to make a point, right? You're seeing how I'm pausing. So a lot of people will be like, well, I don't have a naturally deep voice, McLean, like I don't sound like you. That's fine. Every fucking man can absolutely take voice lessons, can you not? Right? Can you not take voice lessons? It's not even that expensive. You can go down to a community college in the States, maybe I don't know what they call it in other countries, junior college, whatever. You can go and literally pay a few bucks and get voice lessons and learn how to speak from here, right? And learn how to use your voice to compel people. Look at another thing you can do, which is excellent, and this is how I learned how to speak. Watch speeches and watch interviews with Bill Clinton. So fuck the politics, right? Fuck all the politics shit, who cares? I don't care about that. Bill Clinton's one of the most charismatic people in the world. And watch how he moves, watch how he speaks, watch how deliberate he is. Barack Obama, I've actually met, charismatic, but I don't think he was that extremely effective with his speech. But he does have a way, he's a cadence in how he speaks and says things. So, when it comes to girls, it's an absolute scientific fact that women are turned on by a voice, right? A deep voice. It's just because it's manly, right? It's telling them subconsciously it's high testosterone, therefore he will be good to breed with and this baby will actually survive. So when you're talking to girls, not just lowering your voice a bit, but slowing it down. So think about this. If you have someone who's nervous around pretty girls, which is natural, you have to work through that. And they're with a pretty girl. Hey, what's your name? Where are you from? Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm blah, blah, blah. Right? They're getting their words out. Someone who feels like they're not heard or people don't respect them will speak quickly in order to get it all out before someone interrupts them. It's very fucking true. Someone who's used to being respected or establishing boundaries in the sense of don't cut me off, don't talk over me, they'll pause. And what I do, because people will still try to cut you off, especially like in New York, motherfuckers speak quick, that's the way it is. I'll literally pause and be like, I'm not done, and give it a beat, right? Give it a second or two. Because it reestablishes the frame of like, okay, I do need to listen. So you really have to own your space with people. When you're speaking, with girls, slow the voice down. Don't fucking speak super quick. Take your time, because what will happen is the girl's gonna go, wow, this guy, he actually, like when he says something, he means it. He's deliberate with his speech. But that doesn't mean you can't talk quicker and whatnot, because I'm talking faster right now, but I have intention, and I'm punching you with the words, right? I'm sending the words to you. I'm not sending them here. Most people go like this. They go, yeah, I don't know. They throw away the words. Well, you know, I don't know. No, shoot them to you. Where are you going? You know what I mean? Where are you going? I'm shooting the words to you. I'm not, where are you going? I don't know. So get out here. And what happens is, especially with a lot of introverts, they're so here instead of focusing on the other person. If you focus on the other people, if you focus on the other person, if you find something about them that's interesting, then you'll be able to speak to them with intention. So it's very important. So to wrap it up, if you have issues with your voice, if you have a lisp, right? It's fucking fixable. When I was 6 years old, I couldn't pronounce certain words legitimately. I couldn't even say oil, dead serious. I used to say oi. So it was like a joke in my family. Whatever, my dad was like working on the car or whatever. So I would say, is he getting the, like literally I had a fucking stutter. So they took me to like a speech pathologist, and the speech pathologist was like, oh, he'll work it out, whatever. You know, so my mom kind of worked with me. So I don't want to hear excuses if I have a lisp or I stutter. You work through it. Fucking work through it. A lot of people that stutter, the reason why they stutter, the fact is because they think what they're going to say, people are going to make fun of, right? So it makes them nervous. I've known people that have overcome stutters, lisp, and being gay. No, I'm kidding. So anyway, I'm going to wrap it up. But deliberate, get a voice coach if you need it. When you're talking to girls, slow it the fuck down. Own your space. Own what you're saying. And here's the deal. If you believe that what you say is super fucking important, other people will too.
All right, lesson 4, dressing like a G. I actually wanted to put lesson 3 and lesson 4 together. So if you're a bit disappointed with the previous lesson, me just saying learn how to fight, because like I said, this is a no bullshit course. That's the truth. You want the body language of a G, go learn how to fight. You're gonna have the body language of a fucking G. Simple. But I actually want to put these two together, because dressing like a G and body language, it all kind of ties in. Like, it doesn't matter what you wear if you haven't got the correct swag. And if you do have the right body language, it doesn't really matter what you wear either. It's amazing. We're not females, we're men. So what I'm wearing now, this is a fucking $6 shirt. But I have it open because I've got a fucking, my chest is built because I'm a G, and I wear it how I want, and I walk into a room with my chest out just like what, and I sit down, and everyone just looks at me, who the fuck's that guy? It's not an expensive shirt. Now, if I had a Gucci tag, I was walking around all meek and shit, would it make a difference? Really? No. You don't need to spend money on designer clothes. The number one piece of fashion advice I can give you is to go to the fucking gym. Get built. You're built, you don't need fashion. That fashion is just a way to shortcut that shit. So dressing like a G and body language of G are actually extremely linked. Yeah, you do need some expensive clothes. Yeah, you need some loud pieces, etc. But even then, I mean, this shirt can be considered loud. A loud piece is once again down to how you carry it. If you wear a loud shirt and you look uncomfortable, it doesn't work. You got to pull it off. You're attracting attention, just like a peacock. Peacock gets those feathers out. It's like, yeah, look at me. It's exactly the same thing. So the mindset and the body language are actually a lot more important than the clothes you wear. I mean, am I going to tell you how to dress? Not particularly. I think you can go out there and find your own sense of style. The most important way of looking at it is, how do you feel when you wear those clothes? You know? And that is down to the mindset and the body language more than anything else. You do not need to spend stupid money on clothes. I have stupid money clothes, but I also have stupid money. But I wouldn't need them to get laid. Really, and I'm telling you the truth, women don't actually give a fuck about many of the things that money provides. Even having a Lamborghini, women don't care. Women don't care about cars. They're going to impress 10-year-old boys. They're the only people who are wowed by it. Girls are impressed that you're a man enough with enough ambition to be able to afford a Lamborghini, but they don't care about the Lamborghini itself. There's not a single female alive who will sit there and go, I don't like this guy. I don't like the way he carries himself. I don't like how he thinks. I don't like how he talks. But he's wearing a Gucci t-shirt, so I'm going to fuck him anyway. That's never going to happen. It's all about everything else. The clothes you wear really are, unless they're totally awful, really ain't going to make too big a difference. So how to dress like a G is a very short lesson. You can find your own sense of style. It's all about how you feel when you wear the clothes. Yeah, obviously there's some basic things we can go over. In fact, I don't even have any fashion rules. The only fashion rule I have to give is never, ever, ever wear flip-flops. They're never cool. They're a non-combative footwear. You can't even run in them. I don't know, maybe when people say to me, oh, you're obsessed with da-da-da. I've been in a few, I've had my fair share of street altercations. I live in mafia-ridden countries, etc. But footwear, why are you gonna wear footwear you couldn't even run in? Like, imagine like a car is coming at you, you can't even fucking run. Why would you limit yourself to that point? On top of that, since when are men's feet hot or attractive on any level? Like, no chick wants to see your fucking dirty feet. Put your feet, put some shoes on. Don't wear flip-flops. As long as you don't wear flip-flops ever, there's no excuse to ever wear them. If you don't do that, you really can't fuck up too bad, you know? Wear what you gotta wear, but if you go to the gym and you're getting good physical shape, you can put on pretty much anything. It's all about how you carry yourself, it's about your body language, about how you think. The clothes really, really don't make too big a difference. I didn't want this whole course to be about fucking girls, because fucking girls is actually a very minor, it takes very little effort if you achieve everything else. A lot of these game courses and courses trying to teach you how to get girls focus purely on how to get the girl. And that's the biggest mistake. You read Rush's book, all this bullshit. It's like, go and get the girl and go talk to her this way, and this is game. That's all bullshit. If you focus on everything else I'm telling you about, girls are absolutely an added bonus. If you have your money right, if you talk with conviction, if you're a man of stature, if you are going through life with ambition, if you are big and strong and well-trained and you walk through life with confidence, you're not going to need any game. Like, the girls are going to sense it and you're going to have girls. I don't have to go out of my way to get laid, ever. Girls message me, and if they don't message me, if I message them or if I go say hello to them, they certainly reply. I've never struggled with females in my life, ever, because I've never focused on females. I focused on everything else that made me high value, and the women were an added bonus. They're the salt on the popcorn. They're not the popcorn itself. So I don't really want to talk about women too much, but even when we look at it from how to dress like a G perspective, what perfect fashion will achieve you is, it will achieve you 10 seconds. Imagine you go to the store and you buy the best Armani Gucci suit, 10 grand, 15 grand. I've got a load of them. I've got 15 grand suits. On my Instagram, you can check it out. I've got a picture of me in a 15 grand suit. A girl might look at you and she'll think, oh yeah, okay. She might think you're hot or whatever. You go over to her and you say hello. Because she liked what you were wearing, you've bought yourself 10 seconds of interest. If that, for 15 grand, you've bought yourself 10 seconds of interest. And in those 10 seconds, if you're boring, or you don't make her laugh, or she doesn't like what you say, she doesn't give a fuck about what you're wearing anymore. That's it, it's done. You bought yourself 10 seconds of interest for 15 grand. Is it worth it? Absolutely not. You can go over there in anything. And it's more about what you say and how you carry yourself than it is about what you're actually wearing. So to think that if I wear this and do this, I'm gonna get girls, is absolutely a fallacy. That's not true. I'm not gonna tell you it's true. Like I said, this course is no bullshit. It really doesn't matter too much what you wear if you're the man you're supposed to be. So we say how to dress like a G. Well, I wouldn't even worry about that too much. What you need to worry about first is the mindset. Secondly is the body language. When you achieve those two things, the rest really isn't too complicated. How to dress, well, you can wear whatever the fuck you want. Because if your mindset's right and your body language is right, you can wear whatever the fuck you want. I can put on a bin bag and walk in the club. I'm still a fucking man. It doesn't matter what I wear. I can wear the fucking cheapest, shittest clothes and walk in the club. I'm still the fucking man. I'm still the man because I've decided I'm the fucking man. I've been to hell and back to get my world titles. I know I'm the fucking man. So it doesn't matter what I wear. And people will sense that about me. Even my brother sometimes, me and my brother disagree on very little, but even my brother says, you don't even brush your hair. You don't put any effort. He goes, you're about to go on a date. You're not even changing your t-shirt. You wore that at the gym. So I don't give a fuck. I don't care because I'm the fucking man. I'm gonna go beat this bitch. I'm gonna turn up in my fucking Lambo. I'm gonna tell her how great I am, and she ain't gonna give a fuck what my t-shirt is. I don't need to brush my fucking hair. My hair's a mess. I don't care. I don't brush it ever. Why would I brush my hair? I don't need to. I get out the shower when it's wet. I go like this. Boom. That's my hairstyle. And it's done. I don't have to put any effort into my physical appearance because everything about me is more than a physical appearance. I transcend physical appearances. And if you do the first two lessons correctly, you will once again transcend physical appearances. You don't need to go through fucking walking along aisles saying, oh, how, this Gucci t-shirt, will this get me laid? No Gucci t-shirts get me laid, bro. It's never gonna happen. It's about who you are as a person. The clothes just cover up your dick for a little while until she wants to get it out. You ain't gonna worry about it too much. So how to dress like a G is actually completely down to you. That's your personal style. You can make any decision you want to make. But don't wear flip-flops, one. And two, if you do the first two lessons correctly, it doesn't matter what style you really choose, you're gonna do all right. In fact, I hate to contradict myself, but we're doing this entire course without any kind of edits, without any kind of cuts. There's no second takes. This is just pure truth. There is another rule besides no flip-flops. So that's one rule. This is the second rule. If you are gonna spend a lot of money, don't spend it in like Foot Locker or some shit. Foot Locker is the only place you can go and spend $2,000 and still look broke. Don't dress like a fucking street teenager. You know, just wear some normal ass. I mean, I'm telling you guys to you know, make your own decisions. I'm assuming you're not complete morons. Don't be morons. Put on some normal clothes, you know, and you'll be fine. Don't go Foot Locker and think, oh, I bought these trainers, and girls don't give a shit about that dumb shit. You can go there and you can spend very little. And because of my stature, because of how I am, because of how I'm built, because of my body, because of how I train, I could spend $10 on clothes and look better than any of you motherfuckers with $1,000 on clothes. And that's the point I'm trying to make. So how to dress like a G is to do lesson 1 and lesson 2, get your mindset and get your body language correct, and then you ain't got to worry for shit what fucking label is on your t-shirt. That's absolutely the truth.
So let's talk about the mindset behind making money. So years and years and years ago, I had a poverty mindset. And by that, A, I didn't have any money. But that's not the important part. The important part was that I thought it must be super hard to make money. So if you think something, I'm not gonna get all new agey on you, but if you think something, and you say it out loud, you start to believe it. And what you believe, then you start to act on it, and then those actions become habits, and then your habits wind up becoming your fucking life. Right? So I used to say, it's so fucking hard to make money. Like, what the fuck? Why can't I make money? Why is it so hard? What is the deal? This is bullshit. I just am bad with business. I'm bad with making money. That's what it is. Some people are born good with making money, and other people just don't have it. This is bullshit, but it is what it is. Said this out loud for years, and guess what? Didn't make any money. It hit a point of me being so fucking broke that I was literally homeless. A lot of you guys know the story. I was literally homeless on food stamps. And where you're like, you hit such a low, you're like, all right, I have to try something different because clearly whatever the fuck I'm doing is not working. And so what happened was I met this mentor, and how I met him, I'm gonna talk about this later, but how I met him in and of itself is just taking action, you know, and seeing someone it means and going up to them, being humble and be like, hi, I just have to ask you, like, what do you do? Like, how do you have this Lamborghini, or how do you have this, whatever, like, what do you do? And they'll tell you, I'm a Wall Street broker, or I'm a doctor, I'm an online business, whatever. Oh, that's interesting, right? Getting rich is not complicated. It's not easy, but it's not complicated. You basically look at what someone else is doing and then fucking do it, right? All of this course, a lot of this course, honestly, could be chalked up to like common sense, but common sense isn't so common anymore. Right? You know what I mean? Like, we're living in an era where like common sense shit is fucking, you know, people are like, wow, this is fucking it's mind blowing. But when it comes to money, people do get up, they get caught up because they believe they have self-limiting beliefs. They have family that have told them certain things. All rich people got lucky, or money's evil, money's bad, money won't make you happy. It's all fucking bullshit. If you're a miserable person, you get money, you'll probably still be miserable, but at least you'll be miserable on a yacht. So you're not going to be as miserable if you're completely broke. But the mindset behind that. So I had this poverty mindset. So when it switched, because I had the mentor who explained to me, he goes, the reason why you haven't made money is because you think it's hard to make money. You have to change that and think of it as, no, it's easy to make money. I'm like, well, that's not necessarily true though, that's easy to make money. He goes, not necessarily, but you've got to at least get your mind thinking positively, because what will happen is your subconscious will start working on how to actually make money, even when you're asleep and shit. That's why if you've ever woken up in the middle of the night and you're like, I have a great idea, because your subconscious is working on figuring it out, figuring out how to get this. No different than with women. If you're like, it's impossible to get a 9, it's impossible, can't get a 9, it's never gonna happen, I'm just not the guy who gets 9s, da-da-da. You're never gonna have a 9. If you're like, you know what, all fucking women love me, beautiful women want this dick, beautiful women want to be with me, not this motherfucker, not that one, with me, and you actually believe it, then you're putting that energy out into the world. And I'm not trying to be weird with new agey shit, but energy is a very fucking real thing, right? So you're putting that energy out to the world, and guess what? Miraculously, which is actually you taking action, things will start happening in your life. So I took good things. So I took that mentor's advice and I started going, you know what? I haven't been negative about money in the sense of like, why the fuck don't I have any, like to a level of anger and frustration. I literally punched my apartment wall one time. This was before I was like completely fucking homeless. Literally punched the wall because I was so fucking angry. Because I don't come from money. No one on the other side of my family has any fucking money. There's no rich uncle who left me money. I wish I did, but it didn't happen. So I switched the mindset to, you know what? It's not hard to make money. Money is neutral. Money's not emotional, right? A piece of money has no emotions. It goes to whoever does something to get it, right? And it's very simple. This is literally this simple. You want to get rich, it's literally this simple. Find out what people want and then fucking get it for them. It's literally that simple. So for example, this course, you bought this course. Why? Because you wanted information that I have that Andrew has, that you don't have. So we supply the information and you pay. It's literally an exchange. People overcomplicate this shit. Like, well, I need to invent the next fucking Facebook and the next Google. Fuck all that. Unless you're a genius and you literally are a coder and developer and you came up with a brilliant fucking idea. Fuck all the complicated shit. Fuck all the like becoming the next. Fuck that. Literally look at what works. Right? So you're like, well, McQueen, I know you sell a lot of courses. You make a shit ton of money from selling courses. I could create a course. I could sell it online. I could be traveling the world while making money. Duplicate it. Duplicate what someone else is doing. Literally duplicate it. So, in the next video, I'll talk a little more about this.
How to get rich. I know that's why you bought this course. You're sitting here thinking, I want to be rich, how do I do it? I'm going to tell you exactly how you get rich. You may not like what I'm going to say to you, but it's the fucking truth. There is no easy way to get rich. And I'll tell you why. The nature of money, this is once again something else I understood at a very young age. The difference between you and me is very little, except I had a head start on you. Well, you were 18 acting like a dumbass. I was 18 getting shit done. So I've had a head start. So from 18 to 28, I amassed my millions. But it's not too late for anybody. Listen, the nature of how to get rich is because the nature is very difficult because of the nature of money. Money is not something you can earn or make. People talk about making money, earning money. Money is something you must convince out of the hands of somebody else. Money belongs to someone else. You have to convince them to give it to you. That's why making money is difficult. Because if money is something you could make, it wouldn't be difficult. If money is something you could earn, it still wouldn't be that difficult. You really have to convince other people to give you the money. And that's the hard part. Because when you understand that reality, then you have to sit there and decide, okay, I have to convince this person to give me money. How do I get as much money from that person as possible? That's what you need to focus on. How do you make yourself so high value that they'll pay enough for your service, regardless of what your service is, or who you are as a person? Because there's a beautiful woman out there who gives, okay, there's a service, she gives a blowjob. But even then, there's beautiful women out there who give nothing and still get given money by guys. because they're high value, because they have something, they have beauty, they have something the man wants. You have to discover, what is it that I have that other people are going to want? That's the first thing. And secondly, how can I get them to give me a lot of money for it? That's the basis of it. So let's go into it in more detail. How to get rich is as follows. You need to understand. In fact, you need to get pen and fucking paper. You need to write this down. I'm going to struggle to get rich. You are absolutely going to struggle. It's going to be very, very difficult. I did on my podcast with CMQ, I told a story about when I was really at my brokest and how I ate the same meal every day for about 9 months. And I called it flavor because I had no flavor. And it was basically rice. I used to buy a 10 kilo or 20 kilo bag of rice for like $20. It was rice, it was kidney beans, because I read the back of the cans and they had the most protein for that. Because you get cans of kidney beans for like 9p, like 10 American cents back then. So 10 cents. They had more protein than meat. I divided it all up for the value, for the money spent. I got the most possible protein from kidney beans than I did even meat. Because I'm anti-vegetarian, I don't like the idea of vegetarianism. I think it's a disconnect from reality. Humans have always eaten meat, we always will. To start pretending that's bad or wrong is something a bit wrong up here. So I'm an anti-vegetarian. I bought the cheapest possible meat because I refused to eat a meal without meat in it. But really my protein was coming from kidney beans. So I had rice, kidney beans, cheapest possible frozen meat, and then just for greens, the cheapest thing I could buy was frozen peas. And I ate that every single day, 3 meals a day for 9 months, because it allowed me to feed myself for a month on about $90 or $100 for a month. Me and my brother, 2 full-grown men, in combat training, eating 4,000 or 5,000 calories a day, just ate piles of this flavor. You had no flavor. Ate. I said this on the CMQ podcast. And this is when, back then, the reason I had so little money is because I was spending all of my money trying different businesses. Because you are going to struggle to get rich and you are going to fail over and over and over again. All of these people say it. Ty Lopez, Grant Cardone, they all say the same thing. You have to be ready for failure, blah, blah, blah. People go, yeah, I get it. No, you don't get it. You have to be ready to fuck up, because you're going to fuck up. Because there's no magical formula. If you try your first ever business and you make money with your first ever business, you're probably going to fuck that up anyway, because you don't have any experience with losing money. You need to fail to succeed. And I know it's fucking cringe. I hate to say the same shit everyone else says, but it's absolutely true. What I'm going to do in this part of the video is I'm going to put in a clip of something I recorded in my Hateful Tate series, telling you a story of one of my failed business attempts. So you can listen to that as well, and you can enjoy listening to me fuck up, because I fucked up plenty of times before I discovered a few things that started to work. So whenever I'm in Slovakia or Hungary, I drink these, because the first time I came to Slovakia, I had one at a petrol station, and they're like a drink with chunks of aloe vera in it. And this must have been about 9-10 years ago. And now I've seen these a few times in corner shops and stuff. But back then, nowhere in England had drinks with aloe vera in it. So I was only like 21, 22, and obviously I was broke as a joke, and I wanted to get rich. So I thought, fuck it, I'm gonna import these drinks. And I'm gonna sell them in England, and I'm gonna be a sole supplier, and I'm gonna get rich. So I found a contact in Hungary who could provide them to me for like, I don't know how much they were, 38p or something. I wanted to sell them for about £1. So then I started contacting all the superstores. I was watching Dragon's Den about getting distribution. I thought, this is hard. So I emailed Morrison's, emailed Waitrose, started emailing them every day saying I had some revolutionary new health drink that was guaranteed with all these bullshit results, and I promised them 100% markup on it. So I told them they'd buy it for 50p, so I'd make 12p per bottle, and they'd sell it for £1, 100% markup. Made out like I was a real company. I'm 22, I'm just writing away to all these people. Eventually I get an email back from Tesco saying, because everyone ignores you, because everyone's trying to get their stuff into superstores, so they completely ignore you. Got an email back from Tesco saying, I'm away from my, as you know, I've now left the business and my replacement is Mr. Chris something is coming in to replace me. So I waited a couple of days and I emailed Chris and said, hi Chris, we need to speak urgently. Your predecessor and I were one step away from achieving distribution, pretending I'd spoken to the previous guy who left, who never responded to me ever. So then Chris emails me like, oh, okay, you better come down then. So it was in Cheshunt, Hertfordshire, the Tesco head office. And I thought a normal job back then, so I arranged a meeting at like 5:30, finished work an hour early, walk into Tesco fucking head office in my Matalan suit with 4 or 5 bottles of this shit, which I brought in a backpack. Sat down there, let him test it all, gave him my pitch about health benefits, 100% bonus and all this bollocks. He gave me a piece of paper saying how Tesco accept distribution, saying like it needs to come X amount of bottles per crate, X amount of crates per container, like just all this expensive distribution shit. So anyway, he said he'd get back to me
So I fucking leave there excited as fuck, call up my guy in Hungary, says I need it in this many bottles per crate, this many crates per container, I need to be able to deliver this many containers per fucking week to Tesco stores, London, all this bollocks, da 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 da. My man in Hungary goes, okay, I can make this happen, da, 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 it's gonna cost this much, blah, blah. So I'm waiting, Chris emails me and says, we need to talk about your drink, are you free to come in again? I was like, yeah, of course. Anyway, in the meantime, the guy from Hungary says, it's gonna take me 6 months to turn around preparing your distribution. I said, oh no, it can't be 6 months, no, Tesco want it now, Tesco want it now. He goes, well, I need some money to begin doing this, it's gonna cost some money, so you need to pay me some money. You want like 2 grand, and I had no money. I had my month's wages, about 1,600 quid, came the next day. So I remember borrowing £500 and my month's wages and sending it to Hungary, 2 grand. The day before my meeting, my big meeting with Tesco, so this guy could begin fucking pissing around with crates. Taking my last £100 to last me the month, now I'm 500 quid in debt as well. Filling up with petrol, putting on my Matalan suit, walking in there, sitting down with this Chris guy who was fat as fuck. I don't know what, of course he was in charge of choosing the food. Fat cunt. And he's literally, the meeting lasted 30 seconds. He said, I'm sorry that my predecessor gave you the impression we were going to stock your product. Personally, I find it repulsive. And that was it. That was the end of my aloe vera dream. He never emailed me back again. None of the other superstores ever emailed me. I kept emailing, we've got different flavors. Wasn't interested. Completely blanked me. Everyone blanked me. The Hungarian guy took 2 grand of my money. And I was more poor than ever. So now when I drive through the continent in my Lambo, I enjoy an aloe vera drink. Personally, I find it repulsive. I remember sitting there thinking in my head, that was unnecessarily rude. He was unnecessarily rude to me because he thought he was important. I'm the fat dude who chooses Tesco's food. Cunt. But he ain't got a fucking Lambo. I might scroll through my email and fucking find it somewhere in the depths. Send him a picture of me outside my Lambo drinking an aloe vera drink.
Surrounded by aloe vera.
Surrounded by aloe vera drink, a big booty hoe.